A story on the alleged homophobic incident by a guest pastor at the Grace Bible Church in Soweto yesterday. We're joined on the line by a spokesperson from the church, Reverend Ezekiel Mathole. Reverend, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Just tell us, what happened in church yesterday?
Excuse me?
What happened at church yesterday?
No, yesterday at the 9 o'clock service, we had a guest preacher who was preaching on the value of the soul, Bishop Dan Moyane. And his sermon provoked a lot of reaction. And there's one area which has received prominence in terms of how some gay people were offended. But that was not the only thing that he was talking about. There's other people who are smokers who were offended because he also referred to a lot of lifestyle issues. There's a lot of people who are having multiple partners who were very offended. So he was dealing with a lot of things in terms of addressing the issues of the value of the soul. And I think from it, we have received different responses in terms of those who felt provoked or offended.
Now, is it usual that you have such a provocative kind of sermon that touches on issues like homosexuality at your church, Reverend?
Not necessarily specifically homosexuality. Like I've said, we're dealing with lifestyle issues that are related to the soul. But the nature of any sermon at our church, depending on the topic, it is always challenging. So people always comment on the sermons that are given because sermons by their nature are provocative.
But on homosexuality itself, that's where we have had a lot of comments on. And we have a TV personality like Somizi Mhlongo walking out, and he went on social media. He's even posted his views about how he felt disgusted by what was being said in church. What have you got to say about that?
No, like I said, we have received different responses, including that of Somizi. I think Somizi has the right to respond the way he responded. The only thing that we want to say as a church is we don't discriminate against gay people, and we will never do, and we have never done that. What was prevalent yesterday is that there was a contrary view that is out there, the same way in the church. If you look into the church, it's an open secret. There are people who have views that are pro-gay and views that are anti. Now, these are views that are there. They are there in the church. They are there in society. And they are there. And we must openly debate those things. And I think that's the spirit of the whole thing. There is a view, there is a perspective that was dealt on, and that people responded to it. And I think we welcome that.
What is the position of your church regarding homosexuality?
Like I said, we as a church, we have stated, we welcome all homosexuals in the church. We don't discriminate against them.
Now, what do you say to Somizi Mhlongo this morning?
Excuse me?
What would you say to Somizi Mhlongo this morning? I mean, he was very angry. I'm using him as an example because he has come out in public to express his anger and how he felt. And he walked out. So he took action against what transpired in the church yesterday, particularly on the issue of homosexuality. He's a member of your church. He's a congregant in your church. What would you say to him this morning?
It is his right to protest in how he has protested and respond the way he has responded. That is his right, and we respect it. We as a church were saying he's continually going to be welcome to be a member of our church. But we have to accept that there are different views when it comes to these issues.
Would you welcome Bishop Doug Heward Mills back to your church, considering the kind of controversy he's caused? I mean, comparing human beings to animals?
Like I said, he was a guest at our church. He was invited. He stated his own views. Those views are not our views, but they are views that we have to continue to communicate about them. If it is necessary, we will invite him.
Do you think it was fair at church to compare human beings to animals?
Like I said, that is not our view, that is his view.
But that's not what I'm asking, Reverend. Sorry, I'm asking, do you think it's fair to compare human beings to animals?
You are requesting me to give you a response, and I'm giving you a response.
Because from what we've heard, I mean, and from what Somizi was saying, he was talking about how even animals do not practice same sex. I'm asking you, do you think it's fair in church to compare human beings to animals?
I think you have to listen to the context of the clip of what he was talking about. That's not our view. I've just said to you, that is not our view. That is not the position we hold as a church. That's the position that Bishop Dark holds as a bishop. That's his view. That's not our view. We are saying that.
Okay, now, Somizi also said that people in church were cheering at the time when the guest pastor was talking about homosexuals in the way that he did. Is that the kind of behavior you would want to see at the Grace Bible Church, where people cheer when controversial issues are being discussed? You said you welcome open discussion, honest debate about it. But when members of your congregants feel marginalized and there's cheering, is that the kind of congregation you would welcome?
I think if everybody is welcomed at the church, we don't gag their response. And there's no way we can control it. We don't gag anybody's response. We can't gag Somizi's response to walk out. We can't gag people when they choose to chair at a point that they want to chair in, because that's their view. The same way others were offended when he was talking about other things, and they did not chair.
You sound very reasonable as a man of the cloth talking to you on the phone. I'm just wanting to now take it the way forward to say, how are you going to approach the next service? Are you going to speak to a member of your congregant like Somizi Mhlongo to say he's welcome back? You said you welcome homosexuals in your church. You don't discriminate against people. They choose their lifestyle and that's it. How are you going to approach the next sermon at your church? Because I guess there will be a lot of attention now at your service following this social media discussion that we're having about what happened yesterday.
Yeah, maybe just to give you context, all our sermons are under review every time from the public, because we broadcast them live even on YouTube, on web streaming. So we always get comments. So that's the nature of the kind of church that we have and the ministry that we are running. That our sermons provoke different responses from people, and people comment to us through social media, through telephone. So like I'm saying, we are welcome. Anybody is welcome to be in a position to make a follow-up with what we are talking about.
So you don't think your church owes anybody any apology this morning?
No, I wouldn't say our church owes nobody. That would be arrogant to say that we owe nobody any response, any apology. We can't say that. But what we can just say is that I think we all have to be reasonable enough to say there's contrary views, there's different opinions, there's different perspectives on specific issues. And let's agree to disagree on those perspectives. But let's not make it as if it's hate speech, make it as if it's discrimination, because that's not where we are going. Where we are going is if there is a particular view, it must come to the open so that people discuss it for what it is, because that's what we want to deal with in South Africa. We want to deal with hate. We want to deal with oppression. We want to deal with segregation. But if we keep these things under the carpet, we need to talk about these views and put them on the table so that we continue to be a healthy society, that we can differ about lifestyle, about sexual orientation, and still love one another as a people.
Thank you very much. That's Reverend Ezekiel Mathole of the Grace Bible Church in Soweto.